All right, again, welcome everybody. Good to see you all here. We'll go ahead and get started. First up is going to be Carl, but before we do that, I wanted to thank a couple of people. First of all, Heath back there, wave your hand, Heath. We do appreciate everything that he does for us at providing us this room and helping us all out. It doesn't sound like we'll be here anymore.
I hope not.
We'll be over in the new section, and we'll let you all know when that happens. But yeah, it sounds like this might be our last time here in this room. So, but thanks to Heath and Orem City for all they do for us. Also wanted to thank Trevor for all the wonderful stuff he does for us. Last week, he helped us out doing a town hall with the ARRL section manager candidates. For those of you that are ARRL members and got a ballot to vote, Trevor has put that meeting out on our YouTube channel. So just go to YouTube and search for UVARC, and you'll find it there. A very good meeting, a lot of good information. So again, thanks for putting that up there for all these folks to be able to watch that before they vote. All right. Hey, Trevor, yeah. Okay, we'll get it over to Carl now.
Thanks for giving him the warning. I appreciate that.
I didn't get long enough for running out.
Yeah. All right, the usual stuff. Okay, I'm done. What do we got to do? Tab? 7-6 barbecue. It's already April, May, June. We're real close. June 7th. 10 a.m. to 2, Highland Glen Park, where it's been the last, how many years we have been up there? 4, 5 years, 6 years? So we'll provide the barbecue chicken. Stan's gonna let us take the big barbecue up there, and we're gonna do it on site instead of doing it all the day before like we have in past years. So we're gonna be doing the chicken right there on site. We're gonna have door plies and a go-to station. Now, I'm gonna add something to this because we talked about this last night. Jody is gonna provide an HF antenna. We're going to use it at the HF go-to station, and then it's going to be what? A giveaway, and it's going to get raffled off. So you'll be able to talk on that antenna, make sure it works and stuff, and then it'll be part of the giveaway. So that's going to be. We got like 3 radios. We'll have about three antennas being raffled off, and so that's all kind of. If you're a member of the 7-6 group, we give a ticket away, and if you want to buy more tickets, we make those available too. So you can up your chances. So with all that said, don't let some lame family reunion get in the way of putting it on your calendar and reserving that date. That's what we always say. All right. And if I didn't say it, Ron would be saying it. Okay. Ice cream social. This is a tentative date, but we haven't veered around it. So Saturday, the 6th of September, 1 o'clock, Leatherby's here in Orem. We always have a good group come out to that, and it's bring your own appetite and your own wallet for ice cream, but it's always a good time there. Where's Joe? Joe's not here.
Joe's not here.
That's all I got. By the way, the town hall was very good. I watched it. You know, he's in Connecticut. I heard he checked in the net last night from Connecticut. So. On Echolink. What did Joe have to? Somebody got to do Joe's stuff?
Joe's right here.
I know. Is somebody got to do Joe's stuff?
Hey, Joe.
Want me to do it? You going to do it, Jackson?
Yeah.
We're going to just call you Joe then. Jackson?
Okay. What do I do? Push space or what? So we have summer field day, Saturday, the 28th in June through Sunday, 29th at Trout Creek. And we have potluck on Saturday. And then we have the ham radio fair at, Thursday, the 17th, July, 6 to 8 p.m. at Featherbrook Park.
Gavin here today. Joe is saying that we will be there the entire week. He'll be there more than a week before, but we'll be there that entire week for field day. So if you want to bring a trailer up early or something, we'll be there.
There will be an exam at field day, so if anybody wants to upgrade,
Come to field day.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Oh, you are? I think somebody got their extra there last year.
Yeah, I don't know who that was.
I don't know who it was either, but I think his name was Jackson.
Joe,
Joe Jackson.
hey, Kevin, you're up next.
Is there anybody here from UCARES that wants to take Gavin's
Anybody
traffic?
here from you, Cares?
No, it's fine. Come on out.
Hey, Jenna, go on
I
down.
don't know enough you care stuff to do this.
As long as there's a script, I can read it.
There it is, yeah, I
Is
just
there a script?
hit the down arrow.
Space bar?
Space bar.
All right.
Okay, and I know already what he's going to ask you, but, the Utah County Amateur Radio Emergency Services Net is Tuesdays at 9 o'clock p.m., 147, positive offset, 100 megahertz. And, their certification. Certification's really awesome, lets you serve. So, okay, that's it. Okay, I thought he was gonna tell you, sign up for the service opportunities. I know that Orem City does fireworks and a parade, and there's a parade in Springville, and lots of races and stuff, and so we could definitely use you on there, and that wasn't on the script, but trust me.
Thanks, John.
All right, Sean.
Okay, watch me trip over it. Okay, I get the personal note, so here we go. This is all of our brand new hams for the last roughly month. And this is, again, for me, it's one of the most exciting things. Do we have any of our new hams that are here tonight by any chance? No new hams tonight.
We should hold their license until they come to the meeting.
Yeah, there we go. All right, let's give them a hand because we're excited for it. Okay, also, here is a list of our upgrades. And do we have any upgrade people here? No upgrade people tonight either.
Well, they're watching us online.
Okay, online, stand up. Yay, let's clap for them. Okay, and then one last thing. Do we have anybody that this is their first time being here?
Stand up.
Stand up.
Yay, stand up.
Yay. Hey, whoa. Don't sit down quite yet. Let's get to know you at least 10 seconds. Okay.
Tell us your name.
Name?
Don Rollins, M7YUQ.
Okay.
I'm Kazushi from Japan.
Okay. Somebody?
Back row. the test.
Back row.
John and Diane Hendrickson from Saratoga Springs. First time, we're just figured it all out. So,
Well, good.
Casey Brown, KK7CQI.
Excellent. Okay.
We're Terry Kathy Boucher from Saratoga Springs.
Good.
I'm Arthur Spear, K7ART.
All right. Welcome. Let's give them a big hand. No G.
By the way, Kazushi here, who's from Japan, he didn't give his call sign, but he is, what's your call sign?
KK7UOG.
KK7UOG. So he's licensed in Japan, and he's also licensed in America. So he's got both amateurship. So congratulations, good job. Well, I just want to say a couple things about the club. So we are the Utah Valley Amateur Radio Club, in case you didn't notice. And we do welcome anybody who's not been here for the first time. And even those who've been here for the 10th time didn't get a chance to say hi to Clyde. Hi, Clyde. It's good to see you way back in the back there. So we have reached a milestone this last week. We have reached 1,200 members, which is quite unique. Not many clubs in the United States can brag that have 1,200 members. Now, okay, 8 or 9 of them are deceased, but that's beside the point. The point is we're still doing pretty good, okay? So as a club, we're doing really well. We are one of the largest clubs in the nation. Now, this is not counting Facebook. We always get accused of that, okay? If you count Facebook people, we're over 2,600, okay? So that's not it. We are bona fide officially 1,200 people, which is really awesome for a ham radio club. Now, that being said, let me just say that we are, there it is. We have a Facebook group, a non-Facebook group of about 120 amateurs for those people who don't want to do Facebook. And there's a number of people who really can't stand Facebook, and I don't blame you, okay? And so if you ever want to get on this group to stay in the know and so forth, and don't want to be part of Facebook, let me know. We'll put you on this non-Facebook group, and then you'll get an email whenever we have updates and that sort of thing. So just let me know about that. Anyway, to join our club, you simply go to uvarc.club. It's kind of hard to read. uvarc.club/join. You go there, and it'll walk you through the process of doing your name and so forth, and credit card, social security, no, nothing like that. But anyway, that's how you join the club. And
It might be good to note that that's .club, not .com, .club, which
Thanks.
is unique in itself.
Say that again?
.club.
Okay, uvarc.club.
.club, not .com, not .org, not .anything else. .club.
You heard it 4 times from the man who knows. So UVARC, UVARC.club is us. If you go to the .com one, it takes you to someplace in Virginia. It's about some graveside service or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, so there you go. That's how you do it. If we are a dues-free club, in other words, you don't have to pay a dime to become part of this club. However, we do beg people for money if you have a penny to spend. What we ask, if you have anything to spend at all, we ask for $1 a year. That's all, $1 a year if you can spend it. If you don't have that $1 a year, it's all good. You can still come to our meetings and do everything we can. The reason I bring this up, though, is because, well, costs are going up. We're not a rich group. We're a nonprofit, okay? And we have so many people that we serve and do things. We give out awesome door prizes like, rolls of tape, and what else do we have, Jackson? Anyway.
Radios and antennas.
There you go.
Flashlights.
Yeah, flashlights. Okay, so because of that, we do have expenses. The biggest expense, it happens to be, well, I'll be gentle, but every field day you see people enjoy, well, going to the restroom. And so because they have that need, we have to provide these porta potties. And, well, the porta potties cost us $731, okay? So it's not cheap, but we're happy to provide it for you, free of charge. You don't even have to put the nickel in, just open the door. So to do that, but, we do ask if you do have a spare $1 a year, we're happy to take your money. Anyway, but there you go. That's all I'm going to say about the money. If you happen to want to know anything more about the club, Utah Valley Amateur Radio Club, just email us at uvarcinfo@gmail.com. At any rate, there we have it. That's all I want to say. Now, I'm going to turn it over to Chad.
All right, we are to that part of the night where you've all been waiting for. You don't want to listen to me or No G or anybody. You're here to see Dave, aren't you? Yeah, I know. I know a lot of you are here because of Dave. Dave has been a great service to the club and to the amateur radio community. So he gave me a whole bunch of really cool stuff that he does, but we've talked for quite a while, and all the time that he can have. So, without further ado, we'll swap over to Dave, and we'll get some video set up here real quick so that we can get it broadcast. But off to Dave, and we do appreciate his time tonight.
Well, I'm really glad you're all here tonight. Thank you for coming. This presentation was done in St. George at the big ham convention. There was over 700 hams in St. George, and it was a great experience for me to present this there. There is a new ham convention this year. It will be in Grand Junction in October. It will replace the HamCon in St. George. So I hope that this will be the presentation, and I hope that it will come real to you. I have been in amateur radio for this year will be 50 years. I was licensed in 1975, and I was about 17 years old. All my first radios I built myself. I built an old A1C crystal-controlled CW transmitter. I tried to build a receiver. It didn't work very well, so I bought a Radio Shack receiver. It was real difficult to get it that would tune in to all those signals and stuff like that. Well, welcome tonight. Let's get rolling, and thank you for being here. This is the presentation from HamCon. Love it. CCR. You guys, any CCR?
HamCon Zion 2024.
Okay, well, we're not in HamCon Zion, but it's the presentation. Tonight's challenge, you will see many of us wearing these little badges, the 1500 challenge. Now, I'm going to pass out badges. I'm going to pass out coasters. At the very end, I'm going to pass out a radio, and then there's also the radios from the club. So, welcome to our presentation. Ham radio organizations. What are the fundamentals to a ham radio organization? A successful organization relies on foundational elements, pillars. What might be the pillars of amateur radio? Well-defined and carefully crafted strategy is at the core of every successful organization. What would you say are the pillars of amateur radio? In the back, there's a display going on. There's a very current radio sitting on the 6 pillars of a ham radio, and you've got to figure out which is the current radio, and there's a vintage radio back there. So I hope that you'll take a look at that. Here are some of the things that I came up. I am slightly different than ARRL. Pillar number 1, membership. You guys are pillar number 1 of amateur radio. Without membership, we wouldn't have ham radio. Number 2, education. Learning new technology. I'm working with a young man who is developing a new digital technology. It's amazing. He can't wait to finish it. It's almost done. We see this happening in amateur radio. Digital technology is a cool and upcoming event. And we have support, Elmers. How many of you have helped someone, been an Elmer? That's what tonight is all about, helping others in amateur radio. I appreciate that. I'm kind of preaching to the choir tonight. Radios, antennas, and tools are a fundamental pillar. Without radios, without all the equipment, all the other things, we wouldn't have amateur radio. Advocacy was one of the things the ARRL talked about as an important pillar. Being able to support and help others. Involvement, operations. We have a lot of events in amateur radio. We went through some of them tonight. And I hope that you will bring somebody to those events and invite them to become part of radio. And public service is a big part of what we do. There will be a lot of public service events coming up. I was looking for the sign-up page on the UCARES, and I didn't find it, but there's a lot of races, the Provo Freedom Parade. There's a parade in Eagle Mountain called the Pony Express Day Parade. It happens to be the same day, Carl. Every first Saturday in June is the Pony Express Day, and that's the same day as the barbecue. I'm going to try to finish the parade and get to the barbecue, Carl, but it's not a family reunion, and they didn't have any control. Okay. What are pillars? How important are pillars? Let's take a look. This is a bridge that's very famous to a lot of you. I've crossed that bridge. It was kind of a cool experience. 887,000 tons. Almost, it's like 1.7 miles long. What do you think about when you see that bridge? First thing I thought about is all the cable in that bridge is it would make a good antenna, wouldn't it? Those pillars that go up. That was my thoughts. 40 million vehicles cross that bridge each year. How many hams cross? It would be amazing to know. I don't know. But we just recently, and this was more real a year ago, you guys know what happened to the Francis Scott Key Bridge. We had a ship that ran into it, and that bridge collapsed. What happened when the pillars collapsed on that bridge? 7 people died. Sad. So what would happen if we lost one of those pillars in ham radio? What would be the effects? That's kind of the... In ham radio, did you know in 2022 we lost 55,000 members? Today we're still down 10,000 members in amateur radio. So what can we do about it? This is what this presentation is kind of about, this challenge. How many licensed hams do we have in Utah? Well, this was last year in June. We had 18,336 members. Utah's population is 3 million. So you look at our percentage, we are at 0.53. We're one of the higher states with the number of amateur radio operators compared to the population. Let's look at California. How many people live in California? 38 million. That's why we don't live in California. There are 95,000 licensed operators. I lived in California for almost 40 years, and I was involved in amateur radio. I want to promise you that amateur radio is more active here than it ever was in California, which is sad. And you can see the percentage of the population is 0.24. And I said, okay, let's take another comparison. Let's look at Idaho. Idaho, because of its lower population, they're a point percentage of 5.4%. But we're doing great in Utah, which is kind of exciting. Okay, let me tell you a little bit about what's been going on, what I've been involved with in Eagle Mountain, because it can compare to you wherever you at. It's so incredible that we have a guy like Noji in some of our leadership here. Noji has been to 2 of my houses and put up antennas. It's just, I am so grateful for him and what he does for the community. We are so blessed to have Noji, and I hope that you guys realize that. We could give a hand to Noji. He is an amazing guy. Thank you, Noji, for all you do for our ham community.
You got a pin so I can help my bubble?
Anybody heard of Marconi? Okay, we're going to play a little video clip here,
In the new era, thought itself will be transmitted by radio. Guglielmo Marconi.
That was 123 years ago. He sent the first message, and you guys know about it. So I want to get through. Then we're going to watch a little video about a tragedy that radio could have changed everything. So I'm not going to watch the whole video, but I want you to see it, and you probably know all about this. This is about the Titanic.
Hello again. This is Alex Rohde with National Defense Studies. Today we're going to talk about ham radio operators and why they're so important to emergency communications, and how you can become one. So, come with me. The Titanic was a British luxury liner, the largest ship of her time. Commanded by Captain John Edward Smith, she set sail on her maiden voyage in early April of 1912, with 2,224 passengers and crew aboard. The Titanic was magnificent, with its grand staircase, fine restaurants, and well-appointed cabins. It also had a powerful wireless telegraph, capable of reaching both sides of the Atlantic, and provided for the use of the passengers as well as the crew. Pictured here is a reproduction of the radio equipment on board the Titanic.
Kind of looks like some of our shacks today.
April 14, 1912, as the Titanic steamed across the North Atlantic, another ship, the USS Californian, commanded by Captain Stanley Lord, was only a short distance away. Captain Lord had ordered the Californian to stop for the night because of the large amount of icebergs in the area. He also ordered his radio operator, Cyril Evans, to warn all surrounding ships in the area, which Evans proceeded to do. But meanwhile, back on the Titanic, Its radio equipment had broken down earlier in the day. Once the equipment was fixed, radio operators Jack Phillips and Harold Bride were busy trying to relay the resulting backlog of messages from Titanic's passengers to Cape Race, Newfoundland, 800 miles away. When Evans sent the message from the Californian that, quote, "We are stopped and surrounded by ice," the Titanic was so close that the transmission was almost deafening, interfering with the Newfoundland transmission and causing Phillips to snap back to Evans, shut up, I am busy, I am working Cape Race." Back on the Californian, Evans waited a little while longer and then switched off the radio for the night. 10 minutes later, the Titanic struck an iceberg. Although the Californian was nearby, it did not receive the frantic distress signals because its radio operator was now off duty. It was almost 4 hours later when the first rescue ship arrived, 2 hours after the Titanic had already sunk. Those lucky enough to be in lifeboats were pulled to safety, but it was too late for those left on board. The sinking of the Titanic shocked the world. Out of 2,228 passengers and crew aboard the Titanic, only 705 survived. Subsequent investigations revealed how a better organized radio system might have saved more lives.
Okay, how many people died because of a radio failure? Over 1,500. This is the 1,500 challenge. What can you do as ham radio operators to make a difference? I'm inviting you to find ways to improve the ham radio community. We're going to go into, what is your role as the ham radio operator? What would you say? How many of us are like Evans and turn off the radio? Here they were in a ice-infested, a very tragic situation. The Titanic was trying to make a record and refused to stop traveling, and it was extremely dangerous. They had received informations and warnings, and here was he, knowing that it was a bad situation. If you were in a really bad situation, let's say there was a bad snowstorm, would you turn on your radio and listen for a little while to see if you might be able to assist someone? Just something to think about. Not that he did anything wrong, but for a lot of us, we could make a difference. You are involved in ham radio. I appreciate you making the effort to become licensed. Here's a picture of him, our 1,500 challenge. You know, how many of you have fun with radio? So how can you give back to radio? What could you do to help our community? And many of you are already doing it. So I wanted to share you a little bit about if you build it, they will come. What happened for me in Eagle Mountain. I moved into Eagle Mountain about 5 years ago, and I wanted to get other people involved in amateur radio. How old is the average ham radio operator? What do you think in this room? Look around. Right. It's kind of older today than when I gave this presentation. The amateur ham radio is 68 years old. What does that tell you about our hobby?
I'm above average.
I think I'm in there. How many years will we have at the average age as ham radio? How long will those 68-year-old people live? Maybe 100, I don't know, but just something to think about. I loved your comment. At the beginning of the expansion in Eagle Mountain, I was asked to run the net for the Eagle Mountain City. I started the net, was given the wrong frequency. I had to fix that, and I turned to the correct frequency. And that first night I ran the net, there was about 3 people that checked in. I was a little discouraged or a little disappointed, all the 3 people I knew. But guess what? Today we run a net and we have an average of 30 people that check in. Eagle Mountain asked me, is there anything we can do to get amateur radio more exciting? In the last 5 years, as of our last exam, we have licensed 645 new or upgraded hams. It's been we're averaging about 100 a year, but you guys are all a part of it. I need VEs. I need people to teach people. Wade has a daughter. She was at our last exam. I was really excited for her. I think she's 11 or 12, 11, and she got her license at our session. It was a little bit challenging in our exam session. The FCC website was down. Nobody could get an FRN number, some of those who hadn't pre-registered, but we made it work, and we had a way to make it work. So I'm grateful for all of you. Wade's family is a ham family. I don't know how many. He came to our exam. His dad was there. He was there, and one of his daughters. 3 generations were taking exams, and his daughter took another daughter took an exam. So I hope that I have invited my grandson. He took an exam. He didn't pass. He didn't study quite enough. But all of you, how many of you know somebody who's not a ham? How many of you don't know? Well, so I hope that you'll take that challenge. And would you give me a 5 minutes heads up, Noji or Jad? We just want to get close. So I don't want to. Today, Eagle Mountain has over 350 ham radio operators. Not all of them are real active, but it's a great change. And all of you can be a part of that. How exciting. Pillar number 1, membership. That's what makes ham radio great. What's great tonight is to have you here and to have your input and your comments and your thoughts. We happen to have a ham radio operator. When I knew Jackson, he was 10 years old. It wasn't too long ago, but he was a general. He's not a general anymore. He's an extra class. He runs the health and fitness net every Monday night. I try to support him. Once in a while I make it to his net. How old is Jackson now? 11 years old. Isn't that amazing? Give Jackson a hand. And you'll see that. That's what ham radio is about. Many of you have helped Jackson. He's gotten some radios. And what a great opportunity to know Jackson. I have a little slide of him running his health and fitness net. We won't watch all of it, but I do have the whole net.
QSD, this is KK7MMM from Utah Valley Amateur Radio Club Health and Fitness Net. Good evening and welcome to everyone.
An NCO running his own net at 11 years old. What an amazing experience. Thank you, Jackson. This is another great guy. I don't know, 1,200 members in his organization. What a great tribute to what he's doing for amateur radio. And no membership fees. He's a great guy, and we talked a little bit about him. I am grateful for Noji and his support. Probably the reason I'm here tonight is because he allowed me to do that. So I thank you, Noji. In Eagle Mountain, we have one of the first CERT internships. We have youth in high schools that are learning about amateur radio, that are learning about emergency preparedness, and it's going on in Eagle Mountain. I teach a ham radio class to them. This is my bosses. Jeff Weber was the emergency manager. He's now the director of operations. And Dave Uliberry, we do CERT training in Eagle Mountain. We provide ham radio classes and licensing, and it's been a great experience for me. And you see youth involved, learning about emergency preparedness. And I just had a youth come to my exam and got her license at one of our last exams. Part of the CERT team, a little thing that Eagle Mountain has done, is we've organized the city into color codes. And those color codes are how we check into our net every Sunday night. There's a net that runs for Eagle Mountain Emergency Communications every night at 9 o'clock. It's on the new Eagle Mountain repeater. I'll show you a couple of shots of it. I'm going to go back. There's a guy in our room that is in this picture. That is Kip back there doing a shakeout drill. He was our NCO at the Eagle Mountain EOC, and that is Kip. Kip, would you raise your hand so everybody knows Kip? Kip just recently became a general class license, and it is awesome to have him, and thank you, Kip, for being here. My wife happens to be a librarian at her elementary school, Brookhaven Elementary, and you see a duck and cover drill. How important. We have that's coming up in just a few weeks. What can we do as amateur radio operators for the Great Shakeout? Here is a drill that was done in Eagle Mountain for the Great Shakeout. We had triage, and we had a little bit of emergency practice of helping people, helping victims. We had a CERT team with ham radios that were being directed, and traffic was done over ham radio. There's some of the triage that was make up for the victims. We did have one victim who was screaming so loud because he was so hurt in our example. We had a police come by and say, one of the neighbors called and said, "Is everything okay?" And we explained to him what was going on. And there's a little bit of the group that was a part of that. What a great opportunity. You know, we had youth involved and they were really good. Okay, pillar 4, radios, antennas, and equipment. The city of Eagle Mountain has 2 CERT trailers. Those CERT trailers have a ham radio that's all programmed and ready to go. We direct our CERT teams or our ham radio crew to go meet in certain locations and practice emergency communications. They're running FTM 3000s in those trailers. There is the Eagle Mountain repeater. When I moved here and I talked to Eagle Mountain, they said, you know what, you can use the UCARES repeater, but if there's an emergency, you guys will have very low priority. And so the Eagle Mountain City said, what can we do? And I said, let's get a repeater. They applied for a call sign, Whiskey Echo 7, Mike Echo Charlie, Eagle Mountain Emergency Communications with the 7 in the middle. With that repeater, Noji found a pair, a 2-meter pair for us to use, and we are using the 147.22 pair that he said somebody had passed on and passed that pair on to us, and that's a little bit. This happens to be just across from Hidden Hollow, one of the tallest towers, the West Tower, is where our repeater is located, and you can see one of the slides. We're working on setting up another repeater. That repeater is a Yaesu 2DRX repeater. You'll see a little bit about it. And it's also a UHF. We're using it on VHF right now. So we had it coordinated with, the band plan coordinators, and you'll see it on the list of, on repeater book and all the different locations. This is another great ham I wanted to point out. He is such a great guy. He used to ride motorcycles everywhere, all over the place. He was in a very bad motorcycle accident, and today he is disabled and lives in a wheelchair. But he is on the radio. You probably heard him. Whiskey 7 KLA, this is Jim. He's running the Eagle Mountain Net. A great guy. One of the things we do in Eagle Mountain for our net is every month we give out a Pony Express award. For somebody who has checked in and been consistent, been a part of our team, they receive a little certificate. Any of you, how many of you have sent out a first contact certificate? I just sent out one a couple weeks ago. I created one because I'm hearing the ARRL is sometimes very slow or doesn't happen. So I created one. You could do the same thing, and you could send that by a PDF or however you want to email it to those users. Pillar number 2, education. Here's a little thing that happens in Eagle Mountain, is we teach classes. This is a very typical class that goes on in Eagle Mountain. This last class, we had the mayor of Eagle Mountain and his wife at our class. We were excited to have him. Jody's wife was there. Jody was at our class. He had to put up with me for 5 weeks. So it's a lot of fun. What a great opportunity. Many of you could do the same thing. Nothing special. This happens to be Jason. We taught a class in Alpine. He taught it. I helped him with some tools and attended his class and helped him organize it. And then we sponsored an exam. We had about, I think it'll tell us, we had, many, the tech class in June, I think it's going to tell you. This is a little bit of what's going on in my wife's elementary school. They're learning Morse code. Can you guys hear the message? What are they sending? Did you hear it?
Operator key down to complete the circuit. The other side received the same electric signal and had to decode it.
What did you hear? I heard somebody say it. You heard it. What a great opportunity. They love it. Some of the kids came up to us and said, we're learning the spy language, Morse code. What a great opportunity for youth to become involved. I teach a general class. Last year I had a general class. There were only 4 people. 2 dropped out. One of them, Kip, got his general license. And thank you, Kip, for sticking with it. And so it was a great class. I have video links of all the training for the technician, and I have it for the general. If you need somebody who wants to watch videos, it's the same thing we cover in class. Just another bit of information. We have been involved, and I worked with Sean in the back. He's involved in amateur radio. We went to the Freedom Prep. You'll happen to see one of our hams that's here tonight, and they were working on ARDF, Amateur Radio Direction Finding. And we came in that class. Noji gave us the plans for making a radio direction antenna, and here's the class. You can see the class has 4 different operators, and the teacher, KG7 KYW, is teaching ham radio in her, I don't know if it's a middle school, Sean, or...
Combination.
Okay, combination of middle school and high school. Thank you, Sean. And there's Sean, KJ7 SNE. And it was a fun thing to come and do. I was involved and helped, and it was just really exciting. I have another STEM night coming up. This was the STEM night we did last year at Hawthorne Academy, and we set up radios. The only problem is the radio we set up inside the classroom, after we'd been there about an hour, it set off the smoke alarms. Oh, no. So it was exciting. See what we could do with radio and the excitement we created? So they've invited me back. I'm not sure why. We're going to set up the antenna outside, run the coax in the window, and hopefully that will be far enough to not set off the smoke detectors. Just something I learned a little more about. And you'll see some of the different academies. We went to the West Academy and the South Academy in the youth. How many of you are VEs? I see some hands. How many of you would like to be a VE? If you will email me, my cards are in the back, and say, I'd like to be a VE. We are part of the Laurel VE team. Let me just show you a quick slide. There's some of our VEs. We have quite a few VEs, but things happen. We usually have about 6 to 7 exams each year. And this is one of our team. You see Jim there. You see Mick, who is here tonight. We see Harold. All of these guys. Frank, many of you may be familiar. Sean, and then Jason. What a great team, and what a great opportunity. It's so fun to see people come into the hobby. Here happens to be one of the exams we're having in Eagle Mountain. Here's one that we had in Alpine. You guys are familiar. Am I running out of time? Okay. This is typical of exam sessions. Lisa's one of our VEs. Mart, do you guys know Mart? Mart was formal Coast Guard. He did, when he left the Coast Guard, he was doing water rescues on Utah Lake and other places. He's been credited with over, I believe it's 550 water rescues that he did. At one time, 911 would ring on his phone, and he'd go out to Utah Lake and do a rescue. Here's a youth. Now a ham radio operator. His dad was so excited for him, and we'll see that in many different opportunities. Here's one of our VE sessions. There you see Wade. To the far right is his father, his daughter, and him, 3 generations taking the ham radio exam. And this is a typical exam. For our exams, there is no fee. You can take as many exams. We'd like to get home before too late, so you keep taking exams. Sometimes you might have to study a little more, but we would love to have you become licensed. Exam session in June. There's last year's field day, or exam that took place, and that's Jackson became, I don't think he made it on his first exam, but he's an extra. And it doesn't matter how many exams it takes you. So we'd love to see you at field day take an exam. There he is, and couple of our students up there. Joe has a Starlink, which provides internet for us, and we have a great opportunity. You'll see. These are all the VE organizations. Every VE has VEC has slightly different rules and rules for taking your exams. and that's the 14 that I'm familiar with. And you could become a VE in any one of those organizations. Sean kind of instrumented us becoming Laurel VE because there was no cost, and we were really frustrated when the FCC changed the licensing fees. This is a little bit of our numbers. It doesn't really matter. You kind of know a lot about that. Pillar 3, support, being an Elmer. Okay, these are group questions. Now, Jackson's going to help me. You're going to get a handout. I have either coasters or buttons for you. Now, the thing about this button, and I didn't tell these guys, I noticed Noji didn't take one. He was supposed to be wearing one of these buttons today. The button is for you to give to someone else. You're going to invite them. So when you invite somebody to ham radio, they become licensed, you're going to give them a button, your button. So I want you to turn your button upside down, and once you get it done, like the old Bobcat in scouting, you turn it upside down when you do a good deed. When you Elmer someone, you turn it right side up and you give them the button. All right, Jackson, the first question. Who can be an Elmer? Who's the first hand? Who can be an Elmer?
Anyone.
Oh, okay, Jackson, he gets a prize. Right here, either one. Okay. Let's go on to question number 2. Let me see your hands. The first hand up, and you guys will have to help me to see who's the first hand. Does he want a coaster or a badge or whatever he wants? Okay. What do Elmers do? Okay, somebody's got to, you just keep them in your hand, whoever that was.
This guy.
Okay.
Button or coaster?
Coaster.
Just carry both with you, Jackson.
That's actually good.
Just grab them and you grab. Okay, ready? Question number 3. I need some help. Who's the first hand? Raise your hand so I can tell who's got the answer. Why be an Elmer?
It's fun. Why not?
Ralph?
Because it's cool.
Okay. Because it's cool. Who needs your help? I'm keeping Jackson busy. Thank you, Jackson. All right, if you don't get one, talk to Jackson. He'll give you one.
Hey, Dave. I was going to say something about who. There have been a lot of great Elmers for me, but Jackson has actually been one of the best Elmers for me, so we don't even have to be an old person.
Look at that. I hear Jackson, a guy, his radio's not working, and he's telling him how to program it.
Just last night, we were on the Sultans of Simplex Net for probably 15 minutes when he was teaching me about NVIS and the frequencies, because I've been struggling to reach Colorado, and so hat tip to Jackson.
Awesome, Jackson. You get a prize. Pick your prize, Jackson. Thank you very much, Wade. That's what I'm asking you to do tonight. You guys are all enjoying radio. Share it with somebody else. Your spouse, drag her in. You got to take an exam. My wife took her general last year, and I'll tell you a little more about it. She was so excited, she didn't quite pass. She missed it by 4 or 5, and she'd only been studying for like 3 days, and we were in a kind of an intense environment. Okay, who helped you as a new ham? Wade just shared. Anybody else? Comment?
I don't know if you might have heard of them. Lovell Kilpack, W7CU. He got his first ham radio license shortly after World War I. You know that countries of the world on QRZ, his was completely filled out. He died at the age of 93 just a couple of years ago. He has the most amazing antenna array you've ever seen. But he just died a couple of years ago, and he was my first contact, and he was one of my honors.
Awesome. Thank you for your comments. Yep, you can, pass out. Pass them out till we run out. What does it cost to become an Elmer? Hands. I saw a hand in the back, Jackson. Nothing. There's no cost to be an Elmer. Way in the back, Jackson. Okay, let me see your hands. Next question. How can you find someone to help you? Throw your call sign out on a net. Say, especially the new ham net is a great opportunity. Say, I'm having trouble with this. I had a ham that was just in my house yesterday. He was helping me. I was having problems with the Raspberry Pi, And what fixed it was loading a different operating system on the Raspberry Pi. It was a great help to me.
We have on the 7.6 net every week, the forum section of the net, and we beg people to ask their questions. We didn't care how dumb it is, and sometimes the dumbest question will have a 20-minute,
comments and yep. What a great, there are so many aspects of ham radio. How many of you worked meteorites or satellite or stuff like that? Amateur radio TV, I could go on with the list of different opportunities. What's on my bucket list is the ISS. I'm hoping someday to make a contact with the ISS.
I contacted the ISS twice.
Awesome. Awesome. What a cool experience. Okay. Who can you help today? You're probably sitting next to someone that might need help. Ask them. Get their email address. Talk to them. What could be the results of you being an Elmer? You guys are almost... yeah, whatever. Yeah, just... Okay. How many of you will become active Elmer? Show of hands. All right, pass whatever we...
Okay, I'll just give them to everybody.
What resources are there for Elmers?
Noji.com.
Noji.com. There are so many people that are looking for it. As your 1500 challenge, will you become an Elmer? Will you actively look for someone? And there's still buttons. I don't know what he's got. Thank you, Jackson. There is a great organization called the ARRL. They do a great deal of training and information. They have a resource called the Teachers Institute. This is for anybody who's teaching ham radio. They're looking for specific teachers. I had a chance to attend the Teachers Institute. It's completely free. They pay your plane fare from Utah to where, usually it's held in Connecticut, in Newington, Connecticut, where the ARRL headquarters are. They pay for your hotel, they pay for your meals, and all they want you to do is learn how to teach amateur radio and follow their guidelines and go teach it. It's such a cool experience. I'll show you a few more slides. This is something I did. We happen to be in Dayton. There's 2 locations because of our schedule. Dayton worked really well. We went to the clubhouse that sponsors the Dayton Ham Convention, and it was an awesome bit of training, totally free. We flew out to Ohio. We were there for a week, and it was just a great experience. I invite any of you, especially if you're a teacher or if you're involved in teaching ham radio. There's the headquarters, and I hope that you'll consider that, for especially those who teach amateur radio. Tools for youth. They're readily available. ICOM has a series of comic books. You can download them in PDF. They used to charge for them. They're now free. There's many different books. Walter Tompkins and Cynthia Wall. Cynthia Wall has like 7 different books, a series. And they're great tools for youth to get them involved in amateur radio. Here's a little video about youth involved. Maybe you've seen this before.
I'm worried about little Gilbert. He's not like other kids.
What do you mean?
Maybe you have a son like this.
Left him alone for a minute, and he disassembled the TV, our clock, and the stereo.
That's perfectly normal. Kids take things apart.
The part that worries me is he used the components to build a ham radio set.
Oh dear.
Is that bad?
Normally I'd want to run an EEG on him, but the machine isn't working. It's worse than I feared.
What is it?
I'm afraid your son has the knack.
The knack?
The knack. It's a rare condition characterized by an extreme intuition about all things mechanical and electrical and other social ineptitude.
Can he lead a normal life?
No. He'll be an engineer.
Okay, be aware of what you're doing to these youth. Radio rescue. Is there anybody who's been involved in a radio rescue, used radio? There's many different examples. This came from Ham Heroes. Would you tell us a little bit about your ham rescue?
So I was hiking in Arches, and I had my ham radio with me, and I just had it like scanning, so I was aware of what repeaters that were coming back, that I was hearing. And here we are, and we're on the 00 trail, and this lady comes running down, like waving her arms and screaming, and her husband had broken his leg at the top of the trail. And they had been trying for hours to get off that trail, and there's no cell service up there. So I just found a high spot and picked one of the, the channels I'd heard signals on, and just made a comment like, hey, anybody out there can make a call. We have a minor medical emergency, and it got us. Somebody came right back, and we got the emergency rescue team on their way. The guy's fracture was gnarly looking. He wasn't getting out of there. He had tried to crawl out. And then, so it took them a while to get there, it's a little remote. And then as we were leaving, it was after dark at this point. They had already gotten to him and they were just working him down the mountain. It was the worst rain I've ever seen in my whole life. It was like somebody was directing a fire hose onto the windshield of the truck. And he would have been out in that exposed.
What a great opportunity. Like we saw in the video with the Titanic, all of those people could have been saved by the Californian. It was close enough, it could have handled all of those people. But because there were no people on the radio, the closest ship was like 4 hours away. By the time it got there, and the hypothermia and everything that was going on with the cold water, we lost 1,500 people. That's what the 1,500 challenge is all about. Thank you for sharing your example. This was a little bit of... Am I done? Okay, thank you very much. All right, this is we're going to try to whip through. This is another event that takes place. I think is coming up. They announced it, the radio fair at a park. You'll happen to see Carl, which is a great amateur radio operator. He does so much for amateur radio. He makes this incredible antenna. I do marketing for him. If you need an antenna, come talk to me and I will send you to Carl. There's so many events. Winter Field Day, how many of you were there? I happen to be sick at Winter Field Day. I usually go. Here's Summer Field Day out there. What a great place. All those opportunities. There's so many events. Dayton Hamvention, the youth forum that was taking place. What a great opportunity for youth to become involved in radio. I'm looking for more opportunities for youth. We have monthly luncheons in different places. These are some from last year. I think there's a luncheon next Saturday, not this Saturday, next Saturday in Linden at Los Hermanos at 1 p.m. Come have lunch with somebody. Bring somebody with you. Talk ham radio, okay? A lot of those different events. I think we're out of time. I did have one more video. This happens to be a public service event, the Kachina Mosa. I participated in that the last couple of years. I'm a little disabled. It's hard for me to walk, but I go out there, we set up a radio, and we check in the runners, and we check them out. It's kind of a cool experience. They were running 100K, I believe, or it might be 100 miles, but it's kind of a cool race to be involved, and they need ham radio operators for all of these events. UCARES interface, okay, I had one more video about Tim Allen talking about ham radio, but I'm out of time. Thank you guys for coming tonight, and I hope that you'll understand how important your role can be in ham radio in inviting people to become a part of ham. I believe everybody should be licensed. Thank you guys very much. I do have a radio I want to give away. Now, I'm looking for the newest ham that's here tonight. How many has been licensed for less than 3 months? Anybody? Less than 4 months? This was going to go to your daughter. Maybe I should just give it to you to give to her. Who's been licensed less than a year?
These guys don't have a radio, they're brand new. They haven't even started yet.
Okay, I think we found a winner. You are our winner. This radio is programmed. Thank you guys very much. We'd like to present Jackson. Would you mind giving him the radio? Your legs are much younger than mine. I might not make it back there. Thank you very much.
All right, once again, let's give Dave a big round of applause. He did a great job for us. Okay, has everybody got a ticket for the door prize? Why don't you tell everybody what we got and what they can do?
Okay, so we have a DigiPie, and yeah, you want to take this thingy with it so you know what it does.
And that was donated by Mark?
Clarence.
Clarence. Thanks, Clarence.
And then we have NFED 49-1, I think, and that's from Jody.
From Jody.
I don't know.
Wave your hand. Thanks for your donation there as well.
We have a signal stick. We have a mystery battery pack thing. We have
For all those of you who like to repair equipment.
a club light. We have an ARRL membership. We have some high quality gloves. And we have a super sharp Milwaukee utility knife and one Bofang radio. And a Popper staple.
And the J-pole. Okay, so we'll try to get through these quickly so we can get you all to dinner in a little bit.
278.
278.
Should I just call him back?
There he is.
All right. Noji, do you want to take pictures?
Sure. This page will come back.
Say that again.
237.
237. All right.
274.
274.
Going once, going twice.
That might have been one of the ones you
Yeah,
didn't
probably
away.
one of the duds.
Okay, next one.
258.
258.
Another dud.
258.
Oh, bathroom, I think. 205.
Oh, that's me.
Really?
You know what? Skip me.
199.
199. Don.
266.
266. Jed, is that you? All right, come on up.
Pays to show up to a meeting every now and again, right?
252.
You'll be back.
252. All right. Yeah, just pick whatever you want.
252. I think it's. Okay.
All right, Ken.
They're saving the green antenna for me. They really are. Oh.
All right.
245.
245. Come on up.
Yeah, antenna's already done.
Yep, both of them. You got an ARRL membership, the flashlight, and the mystery battery pack.
Alien transporter. Okay. 270.
270? That might have been one of the blanks
Yeah,
too.
one of the duds. Okay. 242.
242. All right.
All right, Bill. Okay. Is this a mystery item?
You really want that?
It's roadkill.
Yeah. What's the mystery?
Mystery item. Whether it works or not.
What's that?
227.
227. We got 2 prizes left. 227.
That's me. Go ahead. I already got the radio.
All right. You never know, you might need this antenna for the radio.
Yeah.
There's a couple in here.
Well, that's a good one. 235.
235.
That's the last one.
235. Ah, wait.
Every time. This is the last, this is three. Wait.
It's not rigged, I promise.
Is the signal stick still up here?
Yeah.
Right there.
That's the last one. And I walk away after club light. Okay.
All right. We need to get things wrapped up. Heath, are we putting the chairs away?
No, chairs are good today.
Okay, chairs stay where they are. Just make sure you clean up around. Let's leave this room super clean. And we will be QSYing over to Wingers, just down State Street here. So if you are hungry and you want to continue hanging out with a bunch of nerds like us, come on down and have dinner with us. And again, thanks to Trevor for setting this all up. Thanks to Dave for our presentation. And thanks to Orem City for hosting us. See you here next week, or next month.